Let me know if this sounds familiar. When you were younger, your knees were strong, sensible, upstanding citizens of society. But one day you rolled out of bed and your knees decided that was for the birds. If that sounds familiar, you aren't alone. There are many of us jealously scrolling as others shamelessly flaunt their good knees for the whole world to see. But while I was looking at this challenge video on TikTok, I thought about something. Why do my knees hurt in the first place? This is Meg Thee Stallion. She's a popular American rapper and avid knee flaunter. While she is famous for her music and platform of women empowerment, she's terrible. And that's because Megan loves to show us that knees don't have to sound like a 64 Chevy or dry windshield wipers or the intro to that song. But Megan's campaign against the knee challenge is relentless, so much so that her followers have created a new category to define this invincible type of knee. They're called Megan knees. The term Megan knees describes someone who displays an almost insurmountable amount of knee dexterity at an assumed age where they may be uncharacteristic or unexpected for individuals of similar age. Basically, it means you're at least in your late 20s and can get off the floor without needing help. Unfortunately, that is a stark reality for many of us, so much so that we created a term to separate the knee deficient from our future overlords. But why? Why is it that everyone gets this joke? Why do people immediately understand what it means to have Megan knees? Why is it that I haven't told you about today's video sponsor, Rage? Well, you know you ain't got no sponsor. If you've ever Googled why my knees hurt, you've probably found an endless list of possibilities. There are all sorts of conditions that can result in knee pain, so it's easy to get lost in the weeds. But one thing that will help us find our answer is understanding how our knees work in the first place. Your knee is the largest joint in your body and is made up of 3 bones: the femur, tibia, and patella. The femur, usually called the thigh bone, is the largest bone in your body and makes up the top portion of your knee. The tibia, or your shin, is the larger of the 2 bones in your lower leg and makes up the lower part of your knee. Your knee is basically where these 2 bones meet. To cap the knee, you have the knee cap, or patella. Pretty simple overall. However, having a heavy bone sitting on top of another one doesn't sound like a good time, and it isn't. That's why your knee has a few more tricks. Your femur and tibia have something called articular cartilage where they meet. Your body uses this instead of hard bone on hard bone. Articular cartilage allows the 2 bones to glide past one another in a smooth manner rather than just. There's also some articular cartilage on the backside of the patella to help it move as your knee flexes and extends. However, this cartilage isn't enough to stop your thigh and shin from killing each other. Your knees also have menisci. These are crescent-shaped pieces of cartilage that function as stabilizers or shock absorbers, which are super important. Your knee has to deal with a tremendous amount of force when you're walking or running, since it's just your upper body hammering your tibia over and over again. According to Harvard Health, just walking on flat ground puts about 1.5 times your body weight on your knees. That means if you weigh 200 pounds, you are putting 300 pounds of force on your knees with each step. Adding an incline or stairs can multiply this even higher, but we'll come back to weight later. Your knee also has a bunch of other ligaments, including ones you've heard of like your ACL and your PCL, but that's beyond the scope of this video. For now, let's just figure out why your knees quit with no 2 weeks notice. Your knee is a synovial joint. What that means is the knee is encased in synovial fluid, which lubricates the knee and helps the bones glide past each other. This synovial fluid is managed by cells called chondrocytes. They are responsible for replacing this synovial fluid as it deteriorates over time. However, if chondrocytes end up dying, then there's nothing to replace the synovial fluid, which will destroy the cartilage and start the growth. So why do chondrocytes die? Well, some studies show that chondrocytes can die when they experience high amounts of force or just die over time. The problem with this is chondrocytes are quiescent. That means they don't regrow under normal conditions like most of your other cells. Just like your ex, when they're gone, and there's nothing you can do to get them back. Unfortunately, that means that the articular cartilage ends up going with them. So we're back to. Thanks Pharrell for the assist. So why do your knees hurt? Well, that's a complex question, but in most cases can be answered in one word: arthritis. Now, I know arthritis seems like it's just an old people thing, but that's actually not true. Arthritis is a general catch-all term. It's like me saying food. It actually doesn't describe a whole lot. Arthritis refers to the swelling and stiffening of joints, and there are many different types, far too many to go into in this one video. But the one we're most concerned about is osteoarthritis. This is a type of arthritis that's caused by wear and tear, so things like age, previous injury, or weight. If you suffer from osteoarthritis, it's probably caused by one or a combination of these 3 things. However, for many people below the age of 50, the main culprit is weight. Now, I'm a certified thick boy, so don't think I'm judging anyone here, but think back to what I said about walking earlier. With each step on flat ground, you're putting about 1.5 times your body weight on your knees. That's not even considering the force when running or walking upstairs. That can put a lot of pressure on them, and like I said earlier, chondrocytes really don't like high force environments. The reality is, the heavier you are, the more likely you are to suffer from knee pain. But being skinny doesn't give you a pass either. You can suffer knee pain just as well from working out improperly or too intensely. The idea is to maintain safe and healthy activity to avoid osteoarthritis. If pop, lock, and drop it sounds like a hospital visit, you might also have weak quadriceps or hamstrings. Just like every other joint in your body, your knees move by muscles pulling on tendons. Generally speaking, this involves 2, but really 7 muscles, your quadriceps and your hamstrings. The quadriceps are a set of 4 muscles, hence quad, that contract to pull your knee forward or extend the knee. Your hamstring, which is actually 3 muscles, pulls your knees back or flexes your knee. If your muscles have been injured or are too weak to handle the load, your knees will become unstable and sometimes painful. But if your knees still threaten you every time you think about doing a dance on TikTok, what can you do to rebuild their trust? Now, I'm not a doctor, at least not that kind of doctor, but the best way to treat osteoarthritis is to visit a doctor or physical therapist. It's easy to brush off knee pain as a temporary issue, but you really should go see a doctor if you're having trouble. While we have talked about weight, age, and injury playing a factor in why your knees hurt, remember there are many different types of arthritis, and I've only briefly talked about one of them. Each type has their own set of symptoms and causes, so the longer you wait, the more harm you could be doing. Remember, once those chondrocytes are gone, they're gone. But even though you might not have mega knees, there's still a chance for you to take care of it right now. There's also still a chance for you to hit that like button on this video so other people without mega knees can see it too. I'm Lumi, thanks for coming to the Benchtop, and remember, keep thinking. My head is so big, I can't get my glasses to fit properly. Also, shout out to that ambulance, the ambulance out there.